This is the Coronavirus Global Update at 17 hours GMT on Monday, the 30th of March. I'm Oliver Conway with the latest news on the pandemic. Spain now has more coronavirus cases than China, but the Spanish foreign minister says the outbreak there appears to be slowing. Nurses in New York say they are overwhelmed by the epidemic, and how motor racing engineers helped build a new device to assist breathing. Spain has now joined Italy and the US in overtaking China's total number of infections, though the Spanish authorities are hopeful the numbers could soon start to fall. New, tougher control measures have come into force, as Guy Hedgecoe reports.
Here on the streets of Madrid, it's even quieter than it has been for the last 2 weeks. A national lockdown, which has been in place for that time, has today been tightened further. All non-essential professionals who had been able to travel to their place of work must now stay at home. The Foreign Minister, Arantxa González, has told the BBC that the virus's upward curve seems to be flattening out. Daily infection rates are dropping. However, with another 812 people dying of coronavirus in the last 24 hours, Spain's healthcare services are struggling.
New York remains the epicenter of the pandemic in the US, where more than 2,500 people have died. This emergency department nurse, who wants to remain anonymous, says they are overwhelmed.
Our emergency room is completely COVID, and we're short-staffed. We're running out of basic supplies because all of our patients are requiring so much. I feel like we've been hit harder, and we've been hit first. We have not even experienced the worst and the biggest wave of patients. We're just getting started.
A US Navy hospital ship has now arrived in New York to provide extra help. Japan has reported a surge in Covid-19 infections amid fears that a lack of widespread testing has allowed the virus to spread undetected. Tokyo has recorded its highest number of new cases with 68. Rupert Wingfield-Hayes reports.
Across Japan, coronavirus infections have doubled in the last 10 days. The city's parks have now been shut, and people have been urged not to go to pubs and restaurants at night. But apart from that, life in Tokyo remains remarkably normal, with shops and offices open and the city's notoriously crowded metro system still jammed with commuters.
Meanwhile, a new date has been announced for the Tokyo Olympics. The Summer Games will take place from July the 23rd until August the 8th, 2021, a delay of a year. China, where the virus originated, says it's been through the worst and is now recovering. President Xi Jinping has called on Chinese firms to resume activity to try to revive the economy. So is life getting back to normal? Our correspondent Stephen McDonnell is in Beijing.
Still a long way from normal, but every day there are little bits of more normality returning, if I could put it to you that way. I mean, still, for example, if you go into any cafe, any shopping centre, what have you, you still have to have your temperature checked, you still have to put your name down, put your phone number down, things like that. So it's just a slow return to normal, if you like, but we're not there yet.
Now to the impact on the global economy, and with billions of people ordered to avoid non-essential travel, demand for crude oil has plummeted. As a result, oil prices have fallen to their lowest level in almost 20 years. Andrew Walker reports.
The price of crude oil is now well below half the level it was as recently as January. The massive decline in global travel, especially though not only by air, has fed through to the price of oil, which accounts for more than 90% of transport fuel. Traders are constantly having to adjust their expectations about how long the situation will last.
People from all sorts of technical and medical backgrounds are trying to design and build equipment to help save lives. Now, a modified breathing aid that may help keep coronavirus patients out of intensive care units has been created in less than a week by scientists and engineers in Britain.